Good morning, students. We are ready for math lesson 137 today. First of all, let's go over our rule for averaging. What is averaging? What do we use it for? And how do we do it? So when we want to average numbers, what we use it for is if we don't want to give a whole bunch of numbers for a certain type of information. Maybe you had 10 different tests for one subject in a certain period of time. Instead of writing every test grade that you have on your report card, for example, we can add them together. We can divide them by how many you had, and we can write one grade down that kind of tells in general how you did in your subject. So when we average, we add our numbers together and divide by how many there are total. Let's average these two numbers here. Should be a fairly simple problem. So if we have 100 and 200, how do we average those? Again, we're going to add them together. 100 plus 200 equals 300. And to finish finding the average, we're going to divide our answer by how many numbers we have total. In this case, we have 300 divided by two numbers. And 300 divided by 2 is 150. So we know that the average of 100 and 200 is 150. We're going to go over a couple things, bit of review with a few cards here. I'm going to show you a card and I would like you to say the answer to yourself or whoever is in the room and see if you're correct. I will say the answer soon after you. If you would like to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius, what formula do you use? C equals 5/9 times F in parentheses minus 32. Formula for converting from Celsius to Fahrenheit. F equals 9/5 times C plus 32. What is the freezing point of water, Fahrenheit? 32 degrees. What is the freezing point of water, Fahrenheit? We have that one again. What is the boiling point of water, Celsius? 100 degrees. What is the freezing point of water, Celsius? 0 degrees. What is normal body temperature, Fahrenheit? 98.6 degrees. What is normal body temperature, Celsius? 37 degrees. And what is the boiling point of water, Fahrenheit? And that is 212 degrees. Let's go over some of our geometry terms. What is it called when we have two rays connected at a vertex? That is an angle. And remember, we measure angles in degrees. We talked about that yesterday. What is it called when we have one side that has a certain endpoint and one side goes on indefinitely in the other direction? A ray. What do we call it when both sides go on indefinitely in their direction? A line. What do we call it when we have two specific endpoints? A line segment. And what do we call a simple dot? That is a point. Very good. We're getting into percents in today's lesson. First of all, could you tell me what fraction of a dollar a dime is? What fraction of a dollar is this? Now your answer should be 1/10, since this is one dime, but it takes 10 of them to make a dollar. So a fraction expresses a part of a whole, but another way to express a part of a whole is with a percent. So we could also say that 1 dime is 10% of a dollar. That would be the same thing as saying 1 dime is 1/10 of a dollar. We could also say it is 10% of a dollar. I have some more examples. 20%, 33%, 100%. Now, what fraction of a dollar do you think that a quarter is? Now, your answer should be 1/4 because we have 1 quarter, but it takes 4 quarters to make a dollar. Now, to say the percent that a quarter is of a dollar, we're going to say 25%. So a quarter is 1/4 of a dollar, or we could say that it is 25% of a dollar. Now, the word percent means 100. Sorry, it means per hundred. So when we say percent, what we're saying is that the whole thing would have 100 parts, and the percent is a part of that 100. So for example, if we're talking about 1 quarter and we're talking about what percent 1 quarter is of a dollar is 100 cents, right? Okay, so a quarter is 25 cents. So a quarter is 25% of a dollar because it's 25 parts out of the 100 parts, okay? So whenever we say percent, we're saying how many parts we're talking about out of 100. So if we say 100%, it means the whole thing because we're talking about all 100 parts. If we say 33%, it just means 33 of the parts, 33 out of 100. Or if we say 20%, we're saying out of 100. So 20 of the parts out of 100. Now, what percent would 2 quarters be of a dollar? Now, that would be 50% because out of 100 cents, it's 50 cents, right? So 50% because it's 50 out of the whole 100. What about 3 quarters? How many cents is 3 quarters? 75 cents. It's also 75% of a dollar. 3 quarters is 75% of a dollar because it's out of 100. There are 100 cents in a dollar. So out of 100, 3 quarters is 75%. What about if you would have 4 dimes? What percent is 4 dimes of a dollar? That would be 40% because out of 100, out of the number 100, it's 40%. What about if you would have 7 dimes? What percent of a dollar would 7 dimes be? That would be 70%. What about if you would have 10 dimes? What percent of a dollar would you have then? You would have 100%. You would have, because you have all 100 parts of a dollar, okay? Go ahead and read over your lesson for today and work carefully the exercises. On page 248, go ahead and read over that yourself and see if you can figure out the answers there. If you have any questions, please let me know, specifically on page 248, also on the part about percents. If you have any questions there, let me know as well. We also have a quiz today. After you're finished with your lesson, make sure you do your quiz and have that ready to hand back to me when you can. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in language class.